Imagine for a moment a world where the very ground beneath your feet feels different. A world where the familiar hum of civilization is replaced by an unnerving silence, punctuated only by the crackle of unseen energy. Where the stars in the night sky seem to burn with an unfamiliar intensity, and the compass, that ancient guide, spins wildly, erratically, a frantic dance of confusion. Imagine auroras, those ethereal dancing lights of the polar regions, now visible not just at the poles, but here, over the sun-drenched beaches of the equator, painting the sky with an eerie, beautiful glow. This isn't science fiction, not entirely. It's a glimpse into a future that might just be closer than we think. A future shaped by one of Earth's most fundamental, yet least understood forces. What if the very shield protecting us, the invisible guardian that cradles our atmosphere, deflects deadly radiation, and guides our every journey, Earth's magnetic field, suddenly flipped? Not an instant, apocalyptic snap, but a monumental, drawn-out reversal, centuries in the making, tearing at the fabric of our technologically advanced world. Get ready to embark on a journey into a future where our planet's greatest defense becomes its greatest vulnerability, drastically changing life as we know it. But before we plunge into the chaos of a world undone, let's understand what this invisible shield truly is. Deep within our planet, a molten ocean of iron and nickel swirls and churns, driven by the Earth's rotation and heat from the core. This colossal, dynamic dynamo generates powerful electric currents, which in turn produce an immense magnetic field that extends thousands of kilometers into space. Think of it as a cosmic force field, stretching far beyond our atmosphere, encompassing Earth like a colossal protective bubble. Its purpose? To act as our planetary bodyguard. This magnificent, unseen force is absolutely crucial for life on Earth. It tirelessly deflects the deadly solar wind, a constant stream of charged particles blasted from the sun, and shields us from high-energy cosmic rays, interstellar travelers capable of tearing through DNA. Without this magnetic field, these relentless assaults would strip away our atmosphere, turning our vibrant blue planet into a barren, lifeless rock, much like Mars. It maintains our atmospheric integrity, regulates our climate in subtle but significant ways, and ensures that life in all its astonishing diversity can thrive. It is the very essence of planetary habitability. But what if this bodyguard faltered? What if it began to waver, weaken, and ultimately reverse its polarity? The implications are staggering, and the journey we're about to take will challenge everything you think you know about our place in the cosmos. The unraveling of this invisible shield is not just a theoretical concept, it's a documented geological event, a dance as old as the Earth itself. But the strangest part is yet to come. The moment Earth's magnetic field truly begins its grand reversal, it won't be with a sudden cataclysmic jolt. Instead, it will be a creeping, insidious unraveling, a slow-motion catastrophe playing out over centuries. Picture this. The field doesn't just flip instantly, it weakens dramatically. For perhaps 1,000 years or more, its strength could drop by as much as 90%. During this epoch, our protective bubble deflates, becoming permeable, leaky. Instead of a clear north and south, imagine multiple magnetic poles emerging. Perhaps one in the Canadian Arctic, another in the South Atlantic, even one popping up over Siberia or the Indian Ocean. Compasses, once reliable navigators, would become utterly useless, spinning wildly as they try to align with constantly shifting, weakening, and contradictory magnetic signals. In our modern world, this doesn't just mean a few lost hikers. This means navigation nightmares on an unprecedented scale. Our entire global navigation system, reliant on GPS, would be thrown into disarray. GPS satellites, while receiving signals from a constellation of satellites, are still sensitive to increased solar radiation and ionospheric disturbances. A weakened magnetosphere means a far more turbulent ionosphere, disrupting radio signals, causing significant errors, or even complete blackouts for extended periods. Commercial aviation would face unprecedented challenges. Pilots, already relying heavily on GPS for precision navigation, especially during takeoffs and landings, would struggle. Flights would be delayed, rerouted, or grounded, leading to a cascade of economic disruption. Shipping, critical for global trade, would be similarly impacted, with cargo vessels struggling to find their way across vast oceans, jeopardizing supply chains. And it's not just us. Many animal species, birds, turtles, even whales, rely on Earth's magnetic field for their epic migrations. What happens when their internal compasses go haywire? Mass disorientation, ecological disruption, even localized extinctions could follow. But the immediate impact extends far beyond navigation. Our power grids, the arteries of modern civilization, are acutely vulnerable. With a weakened magnetic shield, solar storms, those magnificent yet terrifying eruptions from the sun, would hit us with far greater intensity. Imagine a Carrington event, the powerful solar storm of 1859 that set telegraph wires on fire, but amplified tenfold. We're talking about widespread blackouts, not just for hours, but potentially for weeks, months, or even longer in some areas. The surges of geomagnetically induced currents would overwhelm transformers, burning them out. And replacing these massive, specialized pieces of equipment is not quick or easy. Cities could go dark, communication networks would fail, and the critical infrastructure that underpins our daily lives, water treatment plants, heating systems, food refrigeration, would grind to a halt. The initial chaos would be immense, but the strangest part is yet to come. Let's zoom in from the global catastrophe to the intensely personal. Imagine yourself in the heart of this unfolding chaos. The first noticeable changes might be subtle, almost dismissible. Your phone battery drains faster. Inexplicable glitches plague your smart home devices, but then it escalates. You wake one morning, and the news channels are a frenzy of confused reports. GPS is down, airlines are grounded, and there's a growing unease in the air, a prickle of anxiety. Your daily commute, once a predictable routine, becomes an odyssey. Traffic lights malfunction, public transport systems reliant on precise timing falter, leading to unprecedented gridlock. Trying to meet a friend across town? Forget relying on your smartphone. Paper maps, once relics, become suddenly vital. But even then, how do you know which way is truly north if your compass, if you even have one, is useless? The simple act of finding your way, a fundamental human ability, becomes fraught with difficulty, injecting a baseline level of stress into every interaction. Then there's the sky. The auroras, once a distant spectacle for the few, become a common yet unsettling nightly display. While breathtakingly beautiful, their very presence at such low latitudes signals a profound vulnerability. The increased radiation reaching the atmosphere would manifest in visual ways, perhaps more frequent, intense lightning storms, or an unnerving shimmer in the air itself. You might start feeling a subtle but persistent fatigue, a headache that won't quite go away, or a heightened sensitivity to sunlight. These aren't just psychological effects. With the shield weakened, more high-energy particles are penetrating our atmosphere, disrupting not just electronics but potentially human biology. The subtle increase in background radiation might not immediately cause acute illness, but its chronic effects would become a constant, unseen threat. Imagine worrying about simply walking outside on a sunny day. News reports would shift from traffic woes to warnings about prolonged sun exposure, recommending shielding, even indoors. Everyday life would be infused with a low-grade hum of existential anxiety. The familiar, reliable Earth would feel profoundly unmoored, its invisible defenses stripped away, leaving you as an individual feeling exposed and vulnerable in your own home. But the strangest part is yet to come. As individual experiences of disorientation and unease coalesce, the fabric of society begins to fray. In the short term, this isn't about total collapse, but a profound systemic disruption. Our reliance on instantaneous communication and global connectivity has made us incredibly efficient, but also incredibly fragile. Families would suddenly find themselves disconnected. Long-distance communication, heavily reliant on satellite networks and stable radio frequencies, would become sporadic and unreliable. Imagine not being able to call loved ones in other cities, or even across the street for days or weeks at a time. The emotional toll of this enforced isolation, this uncertainty about the well-being of those we care about, would be immense. Community bonds already strained by modern individualism would either shatter under the pressure or, in some cases, strengthen as people are forced to rely on local networks once more. Economically, the initial blow would be catastrophic. Global trade, logistics, and financial markets depend on precision timing, navigation, and secure communication. With those pillars weakened, supply chains would seize up. Goods wouldn't reach their destinations. Financial transactions would falter, triggering widespread panic. Imagine banks struggling to process transactions, ATMs failing, and the global stock market experiencing unprecedented volatility. Currencies could devalue rapidly as confidence erodes, leading to a resurgence of local bartering and a shift back towards tangible goods over digital wealth. Culturally, there would be a fascinating, albeit forced, regression and adaptation. The relentless march of digital information would slow to a trickle. People would seek out local news, local entertainment, and local connections. There might be a resurgence in tangible hobbies, in storytelling, in community gatherings that don't rely on screens. Yet, this shift wouldn't be without its challenges. Fear and uncertainty breed suspicion. Misinformation, harder to counter without reliable global communication, could spread rapidly, fueling social unrest and exacerbating existing tensions. The very definition of progress would be called into question, as societies grapple with a world that suddenly feels much larger, much more isolated, and far less predictable. But the strangest part is yet to come. To truly grasp the magnitude of this scenario, we must delve into the science. Earth's magnetic field is a marvel of planetary physics, a self-sustaining geodynamo powered by the movement of liquid iron in our outer core. Imagine this molten metal, an ocean of liquid heat and pressure, constantly churning due to convection currents and the Coriolis effect from Earth's rotation. These movements generate powerful electric currents, and where there are electric currents, there are magnetic fields. It's a vast, complex, and incredibly efficient natural generator. The fascinating thing is, this dynamo isn't static. It has a mind of its own, so to speak. Geologists and paleomagnetists have meticulously studied rock formations around the world, fossilized records of Earth's ancient magnetic field. What they've found is astounding. Over the last 83 million years, our magnetic field has flipped polarity over 183 times. Sometimes these reversals are relatively frequent, every few 100,000 years. Other times, the field remains stable for millions of years, as it has largely been for the last 780,000 years since the last full reversal, known as the Brunhes-Matuyama reversal. This means we are, in geological terms, overdue for a flip. So what triggers this colossal reversal? The exact mechanisms are still a subject of intense scientific study, but it's understood to be an intrinsic property of the geodynamo itself, a sort of chaotic dance within the Earth's core. Currently, we observe significant evidence of the field weakening. Over the last 150 years, the field strength has decreased by about 10–15%. There's also the fascinating South Atlantic anomaly, a region where the field is significantly weaker, allowing charged particles to dip closer to the Earth's surface, affecting satellites and even leading to higher radiation exposure for astronauts orbiting above it. This anomaly is often cited as a potential precursor, a sign that the reversal process might be initiating. During a reversal, the dipole field, the familiar north-south orientation, breaks down. It becomes far more complex and chaotic, perhaps featuring multiple north and south poles wandering across the globe. The transition period is characterized by this extreme weakening, making our planet far more susceptible to solar and cosmic radiation. It's not a sudden switch, but a millennia-long process of instability, vulnerability, and reconfiguration. The evidence is etched in the rocks beneath our feet, a testament to Earth's dynamic nature, reminding us that even the most fundamental aspects of our planet are in a constant state of flux. But the strangest part is yet to come. Beyond the tangible disruptions of technology and environment, a magnetic pole flip would trigger a profound philosophical crisis. For centuries, our understanding of the universe, our place within it, and the very concept of up and down, north and south, have been rooted in a stable, predictable Earth. What happens when that fundamental predictability is shaken to its core? The weakening and eventual reversal of the magnetic field would challenge our deepest assumptions about permanence and order. Suddenly, the Earth, our seemingly solid and reliable home, reveals a hidden volatility. This can lead to a sense of existential drift, a feeling that if even the planet itself can change so fundamentally, what hope do we have for stability in our own lives, our societies, our beliefs? Old scientific certainties might be questioned by the less informed, leading to a rise in pseudo-scientific explanations or, conversely, a desperate search for new scientific understanding. For many, religious and spiritual beliefs would undergo immense scrutiny. If the natural order, as understood through millennia of observation and sacred texts, is upended, how do we interpret divine will or cosmic purpose? Some might see it as a sign of divine judgment, a harbinger of apocalypse. Others might find renewed faith in humanity's resilience, seeing it as a test. The very concepts of direction, orientation, and even destiny could shift. How do you describe a journey when north itself is a moving target, or when the stars, once fixed points of navigation, are obscured by unfamiliar atmospheric phenomena? The abstract notions of true north, both literally and metaphorically, could lose their anchor. This crisis of meaning could also force a reevaluation of what truly matters. With global communication fractured and technology faltering, societies might be compelled to reconnect with fundamental human values: community, self-sufficiency, local knowledge, and direct, unmediated experience. The pursuit of endless technological advancement might give way to a focus on sustainable living, resilience, and a deeper respect for the natural world, in all its awe-inspiring and sometimes terrifying power. The magnetic flip, while a physical event, could become a catalyst for a profound societal and personal introspection, forcing humanity to redefine its purpose on a planet that constantly reminds us of its untamed forces. But the strangest part is yet to come. If humanity survives the initial chaos and adaptation, the long-term impact of a flipped magnetic field would usher in a new normal, fundamentally altering our relationship with technology, our environment, and even our own biology. This isn't just about coping, it's about evolving in the face of profound planetary change. The most significant long-term challenge would be the persistent increase in radiation. Even after the field reestablishes itself, the transition period would leave a lasting legacy. Over decades and centuries, populations would face higher rates of skin cancer, cataracts, and potentially genetic mutations due to the cumulative exposure to cosmic rays and heightened UV radiation. This would drive innovation in protective technologies, from advanced sunscreens and clothing materials to architecture designed with radiation shielding in mind. Our homes, our workplaces, and our public spaces might evolve to become more enclosed, more shielded, creating a distinct change in how we interact with the outdoors. Our technological landscape would be fundamentally reshaped. The era of cheap, easily launched satellites might be over, or at least dramatically altered. Future satellites would need far more robust shielding, making them heavier and more expensive. This could lead to a strategic shift towards ground-based communication infrastructure, like expansive fiber optic networks, reducing our reliance on vulnerable orbital assets. Entire industries would emerge around radiation-hardened electronics, resilient navigation systems not reliant on GPS, and new forms of energy generation that can withstand geomagnetic storms. Environmentally, the long-term effects are complex. While Earth's magnetic field doesn't directly cause climate change, a weakened field allows more solar energy and particles into the atmosphere, which could influence cloud formation and atmospheric chemistry, potentially leading to subtle but significant shifts in regional weather patterns. Animal migration patterns would likely adapt over generations, with species either finding new navigation methods, developing different migration routes, or facing population declines and even extinctions if they fail to adapt. Humanity would need to become far more attuned to these ecological shifts, investing heavily in biodiversity preservation and climate resilience. The new normal wouldn't just be about surviving, it would be about continuously adapting, innovating, and fundamentally redefining what it means to live on a dynamic, ever-changing planet. But the strangest part is yet to come. What we've discussed so far assumes a level of resilience, a capacity for adaptation. But what if the magnetic field flip, combined with other factors, pushes our planet to the very edge of habitability. Let's consider some of the more extreme, mind-blowing outcomes. The most terrifying extreme outcome, a scenario played out on Mars billions of years ago, is atmospheric stripping. While Earth's gravity is far stronger than Mars, a prolonged period of drastically weakened or non-existent magnetic field, coupled with intense solar activity, could lead to a measurable, even significant loss of our atmosphere over geological timescales. We're talking millions of years, not overnight. But a thinner atmosphere would mean less protection from meteoroids, more extreme temperature swings, and a fundamental alteration of the planet's climate. Imagine a sky that appears darker, thinner, less blue, even during the day. This scenario could dramatically accelerate biological evolution. Life forms on Earth would be under immense pressure to adapt to higher radiation levels. We might see the emergence of incredibly radiation-resistant extremophiles, or a decline in species that are particularly vulnerable. For humanity, this could necessitate a radical shift in how we live. Perhaps underground cities or vast self-contained biodomes would become the norm. The idea of freely roaming under the open sky, something we take for granted, might become a luxury or even a distant memory. Our very physiology might begin to adapt over millennia, perhaps developing greater natural melanin production or even more radical internal mechanisms to cope with increased radiation. Another extreme outcome would be a complete and irreversible satellite apocalypse. If the transition period is particularly long and severe, or if a series of superflares occurred during the period of maximum vulnerability, virtually all orbital technology could be fried beyond repair. This wouldn't just be a temporary communication breakdown, it would be a return to a pre-space age existence for centuries, if not longer. Our ability to monitor climate, predict weather, or conduct global surveillance would vanish, plunging us into a state of profound blindness regarding our own planet and beyond. The night sky, devoid of the thousands of twinkling satellites we now take for granted, would appear eerily pristine, a stark reminder of our lost technological zenith. These extreme outcomes aren't certainties, but they lurk on the far edges of possibility, reminding us of the delicate balance that makes Earth uniquely habitable, and how easily that balance can be undone. But the strangest part is yet to come. We've explored some daunting possibilities, but what if the picture is more nuanced? What if Earth possesses hidden resilience, or if our understanding of magnetic reversals is incomplete, leading to alternate, less apocalyptic outcomes? This is where scientific uncertainty and the paradoxes of planetary science truly come into play. One alternate possibility centers on the sheer adaptability of life itself. Life has endured countless magnetic reversals throughout Earth's history. Dinosaurs lived through many. Our early hominid ancestors likely experienced one. This suggests that while challenging, a reversal isn't necessarily an extinction-level event for complex life. Perhaps the long transition period allows for gradual adaptation. Species evolve, humans develop workarounds, and technology advances quickly enough to mitigate the worst effects. We might become a species profoundly shaped by this event, but not necessarily doomed by it. The paradox here is that while the field protects us from extraterrestrial hazards, the very terrestrial processes that generate it are also what create the vulnerability. Furthermore, Earth's atmosphere provides a secondary, though weaker, shield against radiation. Even with a dramatically weakened magnetosphere, the sheer bulk of our atmosphere would still absorb much of the incoming cosmic rays and solar particles, particularly at ground level. The real danger lies in the high-energy particles that can penetrate deeper, but it's not a complete absence of protection. The atmosphere itself is a dynamic, complex system that might offer more resilience than we sometimes give it credit for, especially during a transitional phase. This creates a paradox. A powerful magnetic field helps maintain a thick atmosphere, but that thick atmosphere then provides some protection even when the field falters. They are intrinsically linked in a dance of planetary protection. Finally, there's the paradox of human ingenuity. Adversity often breeds innovation. Faced with such an existential challenge, humanity might accelerate breakthroughs in radiation shielding, resilient energy grids, and new forms of navigation at an unprecedented rate. We might become a truly spacefaring species faster, driven by the need to understand, and perhaps even artificially influence planetary magnetic fields, or to seek new homes less prone to such dramatic shifts. The very threat of a magnetic flip could be the ultimate catalyst for us to transcend our planetary limitations. While the consequences are severe, the potential for growth, learning, and profound scientific and societal evolution is also immense. The Earth's core holds mysteries, and perhaps within those mysteries lies not just a threat, but also the key to our future, a future that might look radically different, but is still undeniably human. Our journey has taken us through a world where compasses spin wildly, where the sky crackles with unseen danger, and where the very fabric of society is stretched to its breaking point. We've imagined the immediate chaos of navigation nightmares and power grid vulnerabilities, felt the personal unease of a world unmoored, and witnessed the philosophical shifts as humanity grapples with a changing Earth. We've delved into the deep science of Earth's incredible yet chaotic geodynamo, and contemplated the long-term adaptations that would define a new normal for our species. And we've dared to peek at the extreme edges of planetary habitability, only to find that even there, the potential for resilience and ingenuity shines through. The magnetic field flip isn't just a geological event, it's a profound thought experiment that forces us to confront our fragility, our dependence on the unseen forces that govern our planet. It reminds us that our seemingly stable world is a dynamic, living entity, capable of transformations far grander and more ancient than any human endeavor. It asks us to consider how much we take for granted, and how quickly the familiar can become profoundly alien. We live on a planet constantly in motion, both on its surface and in its fiery heart. The invisible shield protects us, but also, in its majestic dance of reversal, tests us. It begs the question, if this profound shift, this cosmic realignment, were to truly begin, how would humanity respond? Would we succumb to the chaos, or would we rise unified to face a challenge unlike any other, forging a new future under a reoriented sky? If Earth's magnetic field is a testament to our planet's power, then our response to its flip might be the ultimate testament to humanity's spirit. What do you think? How would you adapt to a world where north becomes south and the sky itself is a canvas for unsettling beauty? Share your thoughts, your fears, and your hopes in the comments below. And if this journey into the invisible shield has broadened your perspective, please like this video, share it with those who love a good mystery, and subscribe to our channel for more explorations into the fascinating, often unsettling wonders of our universe. Until next time, keep looking up, and keep questioning the unseen forces that shape our world. The magnetic field flip isn't just a geological event, it's a profound thought experiment that forces us to confront our fragility, our dependence on the unseen forces that govern our planet. It reminds us that our seemingly stable world is a dynamic, living entity, capable of transformations far grander and more ancient than any human endeavor. It asks us to consider how much we take for granted, and how quickly the familiar can become profoundly alien. We live on a planet constantly in motion, both on its surface and in its fiery heart. The invisible shield protects us, but also, in its majestic dance of reversal, tests us. It begs the question, if this profound shift, this cosmic realignment, were to truly begin, how would humanity respond? Would we succumb to the chaos, or would we rise, unified, to face a challenge unlike any other, forging a new future under a reoriented sky? If Earth's magnetic field is a testament to our planet's power, then our response to its flip might be the ultimate testament to humanity's spirit. What do you think? How would you adapt to a world where north becomes south and the sky itself is a canvas for unsettling beauty? Share your thoughts, your fears, and your hopes in the comments below. And if this journey into the invisible shield has broadened your perspective, please like this video, share it with those who love a good mystery, and subscribe to our channel for more explorations into the fascinating, often unsettling wonders of our universe. Until next time, keep looking up and keep questioning the unseen forces that shape our world.